Hello folks, Florentine Saint-Yves here. Welcome to this King's Throne video, part 3 of the How to Correctly Build Heroes series. Correctly building your heroes is one of the most crucial aspects of the game, and in order to do so, you must be aware of many things that this series will try to teach you. There's a lot to cover, but also a lot to learn for the newer players, so I hope you enjoy it, and if you have any further questions, don't hesitate to ask on the comments section. On this third part, we will talk about what I think is the most important aspect of the game, raising quality. After reminding you of the consequences of raising quality, I will explain how to do it the most efficient way, and we will discuss the different builds you can choose to raise your hero's quality. As we saw in the second episode, quality bonus has a large impact on your hero's attributes, and we covered how leveling them up affects both their attributes and your kingdom power. Raising quality will work the same, as the formulas are the same, and as it exclusively impacts the quality bonus formula, which is then used on other calculations. Here is a sheet that shows the attribute gain of raising quality through the quality bonus formula, depending on the level of your hero and the quality score gain. This come to no surprise that the higher level your hero is, the higher is the attribute gain from raising quality. Though obvious, I still want to point out something important here. As you may know, a quality skill has a level cap, depending on the hero rank, or in other words hero color. When your hero is red, cap of quality skill is level 100. Yellow, 150. Orange, 200. Green, 250. Blue, 300. And purple, 350. Knowing that, a 7 stars quality skill has a higher maximum attribute potential than a 6 stars quality skill, itself having a higher potential than a 5 stars quality skill, and so on. Note that having a 7 stars quality skill or a 4 stars and a 3 stars yields the same potential, but you'll need to raise 2 skills to max instead of 1. If you leave paragons aside, you can value an hero's potential compared to another by simply looking at their base quality value. The higher it is, the higher is the maximum attribute score a hero can theoretically reach. That's why VIP 9 and onwards heroes are brutal. Their base quality score is very strong, thus they are of great potential. On a more realistic look, here's an example of the first hero you get, Sir Oliver, against an all-rounder like Brunhilde. At level 400, Sir Oliver's maximum quality score is 4 times 2 times 350, which equals 2800. Brunhilde's 1 is 9800. Brunhilde's potential is 3.5 times higher than Sir Oliver's. But this is all theoretical. In reality, resources are way too slim to expect to raise every hero to his maximum potential. Raising one alone takes months, and isn't even the best way to go. For every hero, you should only focus on the attribute type he excels. You should give priority to heroes with the best potential paragons, and work on their higher quality rank of that attribute. Trust me, this will occupy you long enough. Since raising quality is essential in this game, and because your resources to do that are scarce, you need to be clever about it. In a minute I will give you a few tips that will help you get the most of it, but before that I want to answer the following question: is there an attribute you should focus on? At first, you should treat them fairly equally, up until you can build 50 billions of every resource to spend every time the appropriate challenge comes up. That is, challenges follow a 4-week schedule, and the first milestone you should target is to be able to hoard and spend 50 billions of the appropriate resource when the challenge is up. Why 50 billions? Because it allows you to claim all the progress rewards of the challenge, which are quite a good boost to your development. So fortune, provision and inspiration should be worked on equally, without leaving military aside, because you still need to progress on the campaign. You should be comfortable when the attribute reaches 40 millions for fortune and inspiration. You'll need more for provision because some of it goes into your soldiers' creation. When you have secured this milestone, then military becomes the most important attribute, because the others won't give you much more than what they already do, and because you will end up having a lot more of military heroes to work on than heroes of the other attributes. So this is a good spot to start spending as many resources as possible on military skills. Now how do we work with what we have, quality-wise? The main items that will improve your hero's quality are manuscripts, military manuscripts, fortune manuscripts, provision manuscripts, and inspiration manuscripts. They are used to try to improve the level of a quality skill, but with a chance of success depending on the rank of that skill. It is guaranteed for a 1-star skill, 50% chance of success for a 2-star skill, 33% for a 3-star skill, 25% for a 4-star skill, 20% for a 5-star skill, 17% for a 6-star skill and 14% for a 7-star skill. Those numbers are accurate if you use your manuscripts one by one, and it's easy to understand that in the long run and given the probabilities, one manuscript used equals a gain of 1 quality. Thing is, you can trick these probabilities to your advantage. Indeed, it has been proven that if you use your manuscripts in batches, and not one by one, you can expect better than the 1-for-1 ratio the game states. Depending on the rank of the quality skill, there is an optimal number of manuscripts to throw at a time that will give you more return on investment. For a 7-star skill, use them by batches of 16. For a 6-star skill, use them by batches of 20. For a 5-star skill, use them by batches of 16 or 20. For a 4-star skill, use them by batches of 17. Do not use them on 3 and lower star skills, this is just a waste of potential. Here are the results of the game session you just watched on the left side of the screen while I was explaining this and where I used these numbers. I cracked 328 manuscripts, so the expected result should be a 328 quality gain. Well, I actually gained 492 quality, so instead of a 1-for-1 ratio, I got a 1.5-for-1 ratio, which is 50% better. Now that session was pretty small and of course you can get lucky or unlucky sometimes, but it is now known as a fact that you should only spend manuscripts this way, and in the long run, you will beat the 1-for-1 ratio by a significant margin. Undeciphered quality scrolls can net you 5 to 1000 quality experience to a random hero. Needless to say, you're much more inclined to get a 5 or a 10 boost than a 500 or a 1000 boost. Most efficient usage of them is again by batches, but it is rather unclear of how many exactly. The goal is to get at least one 1000 boost by batch, and you can try different things for that. If you have a lot of them, then there is no reason not to use them 100 by 100. If you have less, then try 30 by 30 or something along those lines. For this footage I had 86 scrolls, so I cracked them in 2 parts and used 43 each time. For the record, it looks like I got 6 1000 boosts and 5 500 boosts, which is pretty decent. The second batch in particular was extremely good. Quality manuscripts give 50 quality XP to a hero of your choice, or 100 for the superior version. You have 2 main ways to spend them. You can use them to boost your strongest heroes, each 4 of them giving 1 quality point. There's nothing really to say about it, it's okay to do that. If you are not against the idea of spreading a little bit of your resource to more heroes, you can do what I do. I use them right after cracking my undeciphered quality scrolls to fill up heroes that gain points this way. I have built a quick sheet with all my heroes and the quality skill I'm planning to upgrade with quality experience. I then enter the amount of quality points they have, it calculates the amount needed to fill up the skill, and I can sort all my heroes by a quality gain per scroll ratio. It's a little bit tedious to do, but once the spreadsheet is built, and there is nothing really complicated in it, it takes 5 minutes to fill it and use scrolls accordingly. There is not too much to say about quality scrolls. They are valuable because they guarantee you to level up a quality skill of the same rank as the scroll. I personally only use them on military skills, but it's up to you depending on where you're at and what resource you need the most. King's Council also increases quality every time you gain a rank. Don't forget to join or host one as much as you can. You should usually fish for the one that rewards the most points, but keep in mind they are often sought after and you might get kicked out of it. If you are one of the players with the highest kingdom rank of your server, just do nothing but hosting, you will gain the most points that way. Points needed to gain a rank go up every level, but every 10 levels the amount returns to a more affordable base. Note that your council rank can go as high as level 100. Training grounds reward a little bit of quality XP every time a hero is done training. While this is nice, it should only be considered as a bonus of what training grounds are really about, raising tourney skills. So do not use them with raising quality in mind, but rather focus on heroes that need tourney XP, and enjoy the little quality XP bonus on top of that. Finally, tourney grounds will provide a significant amount of quality XP each day. The goal here is not only doing your timed fights each day, but also use tokens to fight other players' heroes and gain as much quality XP as you can. When you are into mid-game, this becomes so important that you may have to build your heroes a certain way in order to min-max tourney grounds as much as possible. Before diving into the different builds you can choose for that, I want to highlight 2 things. First of all, being VIP 5 or higher will help you a lot on tourney grounds, because this allows you to auto-fight players. This greatly speeds up the process, and doing your daily routine will be much less tedious than if you had to do it on manual mode. I'm not saying that you should get VIP 5 because this is a significant amount of money needed here, but if you happen to be VIP 5 or higher, then you have no excuse of not doing it. Second thing is that local tourney rankings are useless. Don't feel bad about pushing down a player, it does not matter, unless the tourney challenge is on. When this happens, focus on inactive players only, this is common courtesy. Of course, this does not apply to random fights the system provides you, but rather when you use your duel or challenge tokens. In theory, you should run every hero every day on tourney grounds against an appropriate opponent for each of them. In reality, you probably won't have enough tokens to do that in the long run, especially if you have to use more when PvP events are up. A good way to get tokens is to farm castles 3 and 7 on Kingdom expeditions, and you can even go as far as gemming to get double rewards. Basically, what you are doing here is trading gems for quality experience, which is a good investment. You can use almost all the tokens you are able to farm in one day, except for a couple that you save to build your stock for PvP events. Next step is to find players you can farm. A good way to do this is to go on the power rankings of your server, and look for players that have a low kingdom power but high hero count. You get 2 quality XP per defeated hero and more bonus chests that way. The good ratio will depend on the strength of your own heroes. Remember that 3 things matter when it comes to tourney grounds: quality, which is your attack power, attributes, which is your life, and tourney skills, which improves your critical blows. Knowing all this, we can now look at the different options of building your team with tourney grounds in mind. I will keep it simple for this tutorial, but I might do an additional episode to go into more details about that. For now, we will consider 2 options. But before that, we will take back the path of leveling I shared in the previous video. I think that at the beginning, giving all your quality resource to your top 4 heroes is the best way to go. Along the way, you might pick up a heroic maiden or another strong hero to substitute your original top 4 contender, and that's totally fine to switch to this new hero if his potential is better. But you should not reconsider your progress up until mid-game, when investiture material becomes the roadblock, and that's after several weeks of gameplay when your top 4 is level 350 and your other heroes are level 300. I think this is where you have 2 main builds that you can go for. The first one is when you don't care that much about tourney grounds. If that's the case, I suggest you to build a strong top, and leave your baseline heroes where they are. You spread your resource a little, but only to heroes that matter. You sacrifice your baseline heroes that do not have paragons and work on those who do, heroic maidens, squad heroes, and maybe zodiac or event heroes if you follow the guideline I explained on the first episode of this series. This build will yield the best results in terms of kingdom power. Your top 12 to 20 heroes will be pretty strong, but you'll have a very weak baseline. You will still be able to daily farm some players on tourney grounds with your beasts, and you will still be able to attend those PvP events with reasonable results. Unless you made the mistake of summoning too many heroes. Be very cautious about that, because in this case you might end up being the one player that everybody farm for points and quality. Having a lot of weak heroes and only a few that are strong leaves you in a bad position for PvP activities. But again, from a kingdom power perspective, you will be doing fine. The second build is for players that want to perform well on those PvP activities. You sacrifice some kingdom power to spread even more your resource and work not only on your top, but also on your baseline heroes. In order to do so, you need to picture what your midterm goals are, and where you want to go. Here is the build I'm still working on to this day, but this was established months ago. I first built my top 4 to 1500 quality, then stopped to feed them quality resource when I can. I raised other heroes with decent potential to reasonable quality status, and now only give my quality resource to my baseline, as I want them all to reach 300 quality. When one do, I blew him, I am done with him and work on another. Well, I actually work on 4 at a time, one of each attribute, but you get the gist. This build is strong for tourney events because I can send a lot of heroes against players who have good kingdom power and decent hero count. It's also a good defensive build because you can't be farmed by mediocre heroes, they will immediately stumble against your baseline and you won't lose much points when attacked. I also am able to get a lot of daily quality points from tourney grounds, because I have decent heroes that are able to farm players with good hero count. You might want to start with lower expectations, for example putting your top 4 to 1000 quality and your baseline to 200, 150 or even 100 for a start. This will take time, discipline and dedication, but once things kick in, you will be a force to reckon with. I won't go into more details here, because this episode is long enough already. But one final thing before we wrap it up: once you reach mid-game, hoard your quality resource until a quality challenge is on. There is no need to do that early game, because it hampers too much your development. After a while though, it's reasonable to aim for progress rewards this challenge offers, and it would be too bad to miss on that. Anyway, that's all for today. You should now have a better idea on how raising quality in the most efficient way possible, and the different builds you can choose from when you reach mid-game. In the next episode, we will talk about paragons and enhancement. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you did, please leave a positive comment or click on the like button. Thank you for watching, and I hopefully will see you around next time. Bye bye.